Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live demo webinar focusing on our newest software release for 8.0. I'm Nick Rizzo. I'm a product specialist here at Opentrons. And today I'll be walking through the Opentrons Flex and talking about some of the key features such as pipettes and modules, the different hardwares, and the kind of flexibility of how to kind of configure the system. And then I'm going to dive into the new feature sets that will be available with the software release scheduled for tomorrow, 8.0. I'm going to pause here just for a moment to make sure everyone who signed up can join us. And I'll just take this time to plug our demo room quickly. This is where this demo and basically all of the other webinars take place. It's in our headquarters here in Long Island City in New York. If you or anyone else from your team are in the New York City area, please feel free to reach out and work with your main point of contact, your sales rep, whoever that may be, to come in and schedule a time. We do often do walkthroughs and in-person demos so that people can kind of best experience the Opentrons Flex in person. All right. Looks like we're probably good to go here. Okay, great. Just a quick reminder to everyone that this webinar is being recorded and it's going to be made available on the Opentrons website. We'll also try to kind of fast follow with an email, hopefully within 24 hours, to get this out to everybody who also was scheduled to come and view it. To help with the overall webinar experience, all attendees are on mute throughout the entirety of the webinar. If you want to ask a question, please use the Q&A box on the screen. You can ask questions at any point as we continue to walk through the feature set and the Flex, and then we'll answer your questions at the end. Just to get started, I want to say a few things about Opentrons ethos and why we are here. It's our mission to support scientists doing groundbreaking, valuable research with powerful, accessible lab automation that frees you to do more than pipetting. We've helped thousands of labs already, continually growing across the world as we continue to automate more workflows. The Opentrons Flex is our newest generation robot, and we're really excited to show you how it can help you and your lab increase your throughput and automate more of your workflows. So I'm going to show you a few key features on the Flex first, and then we'll go through some live demos of a few of the kind of key software features that we'll be releasing tomorrow. As you can see next to me here is the Opentrons Flex instrument. It's a single gantry kind of system to move it in the X and Y. On the gantry, there is the ability to hold 2 pipettes and also a gripper to move SPS format labware. So as you can see, kind of in the back of the instrument here, we have 2 pipettes currently configured. We have a single and an 8-channel, and that is what's on the instrument now. These have 2 volume ranges for both of the pipettes. They can either be 1 to 50 or 5 to 1,000 microliter pipettes. And you could have 2 mounted at the same time. Or we also have a 96-channel pipette, which goes from 5 to 1,000. And actually one of the key features we are showing in the kind of release is going to be kind of updated partial tip pickup features for both the 96 head and also the 8-channel head. So really unlocking the flexibility of the instrument to allow you to do more with kind of the pipettes that are available to you. Quick note on that. So as you can see, there are 2 pipettes that are loaded currently. If the 96 head is loaded, you can only load that 1 head. But again, with partial tip pickup configurations, the flexibility really kind of increases as you are able to use that in similar kind of avenues to a single or an 8-channel pipette. Perfect there. Next, to talk about the gripper, unfortunately, we do not have a gripper on this system. It's not really relevant for the workflows that I'll be showing you today. But typically, that will sit to the right hand of the pipettes. It's really easily kind of removed and added on. You do not have to start with the gripper kind of in your first configurations of the instrument. You can always add them on, as is true for pretty much any of the modules or pipettes that we'll be talking about here. The gripper is compatible with SBS format labware and also the tip racks to move them around. It has the ability to access the 12 standard deck slots, as well as 4 additional expansion slots, which can go on the right-hand side of the instrument. Those are only gripper accessible and can be used for housing things such as extra tips or stacked labware to be brought onto the deck at a later time during the protocol. To continue forward here with the modules, on the deck currently, we have a magnetic module. So this is kind of a 96 well kind of ring magnet plate. We also have a heater shaker module here. It has the ability to go from 200 to 3000 RPM and from ambient to 95 degrees C. There's a variety of adapter plates that will sit on top of this, as well as a locking mechanism for plate format labware to be locked into place. Behind this, not quite as visible here, is going to be the temperature module, which also has a variety of adapters that can be seated for different labwares and has the ability to go from 4 to 95 degrees C. And then all the way at the back is the Opentrons thermocycler, which can automatically open and close via the software. It's a really unique offering for automating PCR and other kind of workflows where thermal cycling is necessary. All of these modules sit in individual caddies that slot under the deck, so they offer great kind of space savings on the deck, allowing you to move the pipettes freely around it. The thermocycler module comes equipped with a 96 well PCR plate adapter that is in there that houses most normal PCR plates. And then up on the top of the instrument here as well, you can see the relatively new HEPA UV module. And so this will provide positive pressure into the instrument, as well as the ability to turn on UV sterilization. As a note, as I kind of had mentioned previously, the Flex is totally modular. So that means, you can start with the robot kind of at any configuration and with none of these modules and continually add them. Most of the modules are really easy to replace. It's just a few screws and then connecting a USB to the Flex and the power to an outlet. So it's really easy to move between configurations and kind of scale up with your lab space. Another feature here on the Flex is going to be the on-deck display touchscreen. I'm going to be highlighting this heavily through the demos today, as we are continually striving to have more functionality exist on this touchscreen, giving users the ability to walk up and not only kind of interact with the robot to do things such as calibration of the system and kind of removals or additions of pipettes and modules, but to go forward and do things like starting dynamic runs, and now actually with the newest feature set to script entirely on the touchscreen itself for an entirely walk-up experience. Okay, great. And then just quickly before I move on to the demo section of this, I do just want to mention our services. Opentrons offers a white glove approach to service for our end users. This can include on-site installation and training from one of our specialized field application scientists, on-site support with really quick turnaround time, ongoing PMs or preventative maintenances, as well as kind of a new feature for pipette installation and qualification. Our service team consists of both experienced field application scientists who act as technical application and automation consultants for your lab, as well as field application engineers who are going to support you and your robot, as well as kind of provide the preventative maintenance services. Please talk to your territory manager to discuss the options to kind of either upgrade your kind of service contract or look into the best service contract that's going to be necessary based on the needs of your lab, whether that's based on throughput, or kind of number of instruments that you house. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to just quickly touch on the features that are going to be released in the 8.0 software release. for the app and robot software here. Just as a quick note, I already have updated both this instrument and my own application to the latest software version. So everything you see today will be running off of those. There's going to be a few improved features first. These are going to be things like running protocols as long as you're using the latest Python API version, which is 2.20. We're going to add in more partial tip pickup configurations for the both the Flex and the OT-2 Gen 2 pipettes. And for this, the 96 channel will now support single tip pickup as well as row and column pickup, single row and column pickup. And then the 8-channel pipette will support single all the way through kind of any configuration of 2 through 7 on that. So really opening up the ability to utilize multiple configurations of tip pickups. There's also going to be some deck map kind of improvements. So when you go to run protocols through the app or the touchscreen, you'll have a better idea of kind of what's stacked up together. So if there's an adapter beneath a plate on the heater shaker, you'll now have the ability to view all of those kind of in real time. And there's a few other kind of smaller features that have also been implemented throughout. But the new features here, which are very exciting, we're really, really excited to get these into the hands of our end users here. The first is going to be the ability to now change our error behavior. So instead of canceling a run, the new behavior is going to be to pause a run at error. I will hopefully not be demoing this today. If I do, it's totally accidental, but we'll see how it works. And because of this kind of pause behavior now, you'll have the ability to actually follow some guided workflows straight through the touch screen on the robot to allow you to kind of correct for this error and hopefully resume your protocol. You also have the option to get rid of tips or skip the step and perform it manually. So there's really a lot of options now, which will allow you to continue with the run of your protocols here. So a huge improvement here, really going to hopefully affect everybody who is using the robot in a very positive way. Then the next two features that I'll talk about are going to be what I will be demoing today. The first is what we call quick transfers. And so this is going to be the ability to directly on the touchscreen specify a transfer protocol. And so all you need to do here is specify the pipette that you'll be using out of the 2 that are configured, or the 1 if you have a 96 channel, and then select the tip rack and 2 labwares, your source and your destination. And so this is totally code-free. It's all right on the touchscreen. It's entirely UI driven. And I'll demo to you today how easy that is to set up a protocol. This is really great for lab spaces where you just need to do a quick stamping action. You don't want to have to kind of get out a pipette and kind of do this yourself. Obviously, the same kind of benefits of automation hold true here. It's a lot more reproducible of a way to ensure that pipetting is being done the same between yourself and all of the other kind of members of your lab space. And really just a great utility of the Flex instrument. And the last thing that I'll demo today is kind of our updated runtime parameters, which have now been extended to include CSV files, which you can update both in the protocol app or on the Flex touchscreen to kind of dynamically set up a protocol through a CSV. So this is really helpful for things such as normalizations and cherry picking, but can be down to details around pipetting features and what labwares are on the deck and kind of really specific kind of transfer features as well. So people use CSVs for a huge kind of number of different applications, and we just want to continually strive to make it easier for the end customers to do so. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to pull up the protocol library. And so the protocol library is kind of a repository of all protocols that have been kind of validated by Opentrons or perhaps through one of our reagent partners here. And so I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to search for some cherry picking protocols here. if you can see, once this loads along the left-hand kind of bar here, you'll have the ability to select kind of what model you're using for the robot and several other features to kind of clarify how you want to use these protocols. I'm going to select cherry picking with CSV here. This is like a super simple example of what a CSV is going to be able to accomplish when I'm running the robot with it. So if I download this protocol, which I've already done, and then I move over to my app, I have the ability now to update this or upload this protocol to the app. Once I have this, a specific feature is enabled for CSVs, which is kind of unique to this, in which it will actually specify to you that this file has CSV formatting within it, and it will require a CSV during run setup. And this is because of kind of the truly dynamic nature that CSVs allow for, with the ability, as I'm going to do in this one, to kind of dynamically update labware and its positions on the deck. And so instead of running an analysis, which is going to be kind of immediately invalidated, we're going to run the analysis kind of once the CSV has been shared to the robot. Just quickly in the background here, I can also highlight what the CSV is going to kind of look like. And so in the code here, I also have specified to it what is going to be required throughout the CSV for information here. So you can see I'm kind of dynamically updating things such as the labware, where this labware exists, which wells within this labware I'm going to be pulling from, as well as doing the same for the destination, and finally kind of also varying the volume, which I'm going to be interested in. So if I continue to move forward with the protocol here, I can start setup once I select the instrument, which is right next to me. And now I come to this screen where I can drag and drop in a CSV file. I'm going to select this top CSV here, update it. I've also updated this with several other runtime parameters, such as the tip rack. And so this is a really interesting feature of kind of how to utilize all of our runtime parameter functionality here to make a truly dynamic protocol. I could have moved some of these into the CSV as well if I wanted to control them there, or you can kind of pull them out to be more user visible at runtime as well. Once I confirm these values, this is now going to ship that entire protocol as well as the associated CSV over to the robot. And so now you can see things such as the map view of what was specified in that CSV and how that is going to be kind of orchestrated on the instrument itself. Now I can actually go ahead and start this run. And then I can stop my share here and we can go to a view of the robot. Ooh, hey, look, I did not mean to do this at all. I didn't load tips in there. Let's see if I can't use my error recovery workflow here to specify the need to retry my step. Would you look at that? It has the ability to pick up tips now. And so what the robot is doing now is it's just going to go through to all of the locations that I specified in my cherry picking CSV file here. And as it kind of iterates through this, I only selected 3 of them for kind of the concise demo's sake. But obviously, these CSVs could be coming off of other pieces of automation. They could be kind of as long as you need. As long as the headers align with what has been written into your Python protocol, then you have the ability to kind of parse them within that and utilize that information readily. Once this protocol finishes in a moment here, I will also show the functionality now that this CSV-based protocol has been uploaded to the robot. I have the ability to actually go in and specify the CSV using only a USB drive and only the touchscreen on the robot here. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to reload these tips quickly so that I don't run into that error totally accidentally again. Okay, fantastic. So now that I've completed that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again here. And I'm going to go into this very nifty view of the touch screen that is kind of located on the instrument. And so what I'm doing now is I'm actually just streaming this to my laptop, but this is the exact view that is occurring on the screen next to me. And a really cool feature of this now is going to be just interacting with the touchscreen here and selecting this same protocol that I just had utilized. I can go ahead and start the setup again. It's going to be very, very similar to kind of how it was orchestrated previously. And if I go in and say, hey, let's select my CSV file here, I can actually now go ahead and plug in a CSV or a USB to the front of the Flex touch screen, or the front of the Flex, sorry. And so all I need to do here is plug my USB in. It's right in front of you. Super, super simple to do. And now, if I go back to sharing that screen again, you can see that they are now locating files that are on that USB. I select that. Once you've selected it, it will just highlight the CSV of interest to you. You can go back and confirm these values. And I could go ahead and I could run this. But another thing that I can also do just to show that I've updated the overall script here is that in this new CSV, I've actually said, hey, instead of one labware, I'm going to be using two labwares to pull from for a cherry picking protocol here. So again, just like highlighting how dynamically we can go ahead and specify all of the feature sets that are going to be necessary for these various protocols here. Okay, awesome. And now I can say that I'm going to confirm these placements. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just cancel this run. It's going to do a really similar action to what was going to be kind of performed previously, but I'll just cancel out of that currently. And actually, while I'm still sharing this screen, I'm going to just quickly highlight kind of the next feature that is really, really driving to this solution that the Flex as an instrument and the touchscreen that is located on it are of great utility to the end users here. And so if I pull up Quick Transfer here, it's its own tab. It has its own protocols that are associated with it. And I'm just going to highlight quickly kind of what it looks like to build out your own quick transfer here. And just as another comment, I could be doing this kind of on the touchscreen directly in front of it. It's just like way harder to see in webinar form, the screen. So I'm just like displaying it on my computer here. But this is the exact view that is happening on the touchscreen in real time. You'll get a quick overview of what a quick transfer is. So the quick transfer is going to use the kind of three middle slots here. So that's where the tip rack is, the source and destination. These will always be in B2, C2, and D2. And so you just have to make sure that your deck configuration is up to date and aligned with this. If I continue forward, it's going to express to me which pipettes are currently attached to the instrument. Because you're working through the touchscreen, you have this information ahead of time. And so you can select one of the two that is mounted currently. And then you can also select what type of tips are you going to be using as well. So I'm going to use the 50 microliter tips here. And now I just have to go through and select my source labware. So these are currently the supported labwares from Opentrons. We do not have the ability at this moment to update these to custom labware, and that is kind of the current limitation around how to most quickly kind of select your labware here. And in a really similar vein to what I was showing with the CSVs, I can also go through and kind of do a cherry picking kind of maneuver here by selecting my source wells there. And now I can go ahead and I can select my destination labware. These are going to be the same as I was using in my CSV. And again, I can kind of just go ahead and specify what destination wells I'm most concerned with. I can specify my volumes here. And then you can see kind of all of the overview. And you still also have the ability to go in here and manage any of your advanced setting configurations as well. So if you're familiar with Protocol Designer, this is a really similar kind of back end to that. And so it's going to go through and specify all of the various advanced settings for the aspiration and dispense. And you can also kind of change some of the tip management features here as well. So now I can go ahead and create this transfer, and it's going to ask me, hey, do I want to run this now or do I want to run this later? So I can actually say that I'm going to run this kind of immediately instead. So I can just say run now, and it will say successfully received this quick transfer. And then you still also have kind of further ability to go ahead and do labware position checks. If you want to, you can check what your labware is, like how your labware is set up. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and start running it. And now stopping the share again to show you the instrument. So again, kind of in these two examples, the actual behavior that the robot is doing are going to be pretty similar in terms of pulling from specific, kind of cherry-picked wells to kind of specific destination wells here. But again, like the mechanism to set these up was, kind of incredibly different. And again, really highlighting the kind of commitment from Opentrons to provide you with solutions that really are going to make it a lot easier for scientists to interact with this equipment. Scientists are usually very familiar with CSVs, and having a quick kind of no-code UI experience that's directly on the touch screen should also hopefully lower the bar to entry and use of the system. We're really hopeful that kind of end users in the lab who aren't as familiar with automation will have the comfort to walk up to the instrument and interact with it in this manner, and hopefully kind of continue from there. This is kind of a fantastic introduction to how the system and how automation overall can benefit your lab space. Okay, fantastic. This is just about to finish. And then I think that we can probably just go ahead and start to take some questions. If any of those have filtered in, Andrew, I'll hand it over to you to kind of facilitate those.
Fantastic, Nick. That was great. We do have a couple of questions come in already. If as a reminder, use the chat box.
1 second. I don't think we have volume. What was that? Andrew, could you repeat that question?
Just getting to the questions, but a quick reminder to everybody to
like on your computer, turn your volume on.
Type your questions in at the bottom. Okay. First question, how customizable is the error recovery workflow? Can we have a custom error message and suggested recovery path?
Yeah, so currently they're going to be pretty guided workflows. So it'll really be kind of the basic kind of error flow that you'll be seeing kind of currently. If you wanted to go through and have kind of custom error messages, I don't think that that's actually kind of currently configurable. I don't think you can build out your own error workflows, but definitely is kind of a feature set that we've considered, as well as the fact that the logic does exist, kind of within our open source platform. So currently they're not configurable, but definitely kind of a future leaning ideal to be able to have them as customer centric as possible.
Fantastic. And next question, how do you build or write the CSV files? And I'll actually jump in quickly here to plug that we are going to do a webinar specifically on this in about 3 weeks' time. So we hope to have that sign up page soon. But maybe, Nick, if you could just give a quick answer to that one, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I kind of highlighted quickly in the code there, you really just need to specify the column headers for your CSV in order to say, hey, like what is actually going to be referenced kind of within this, and then essentially just tie that into the parameter that's going to be using that throughout the protocol. So whether that's specifying the labware, the location, or the volume, right? You kind of tie that to its kind of to the name of it, and then you'll just iterate through the CSV through the kind of those steps there.
Great. Next question. Is the quick transfer feature compatible with the waste chute?
It is compatible. It will not utilize the waste chute though. Kind of currently, I believe. Actually, no, it may be compatible with the waste chute actually to dispose of your tips. So you would not be able to dispose of plates. So in the quick transfer, we don't have the ability to use the gripper. It's really a transfer command. But you do have the ability to specify the drop-off location of your tips. That would not be an option here as I don't have a waste chute configured. But yes, that should be possible.
Okay. Is the HEPA UV module available for the OT-2 or just the Flex model?
So there is a HEPA module that's available for the OT-2. It does not have the same kind of UV compatibility. Its footprint is quite a bit different, but both do have a HEPA unit that is able to be kind of configured to the top of the instrument. And then the Flex, as I mentioned, just has 2 UV bulbs, which the OT-2 does not.
Are all of the features that you mentioned today available for both OT-2 and Flex, or are some of them Flex only?
So overall, kind of the software packages influence both the Flex and the OT-2, and so a lot of the kind of kind of background kind of code is shared between the two of them. So like CSVs and things like that are possible to be used with the OT-2. Anything that's like specific to some of the feature sets that the Flex has that the OT-2 does not, such as the touchscreen or the gripper or the 96 head, right? Those are going to be Flex specific. And so quick transfers, partial tip loading with the 96 head are not going to be applicable to the OT-2, but things like partial tip loading with the 8-channel and the ability to utilize CSVs are.
Great. Do you have any general suggestions for implementing using a multi-channel pipette as a single channel, so the partial tip pickup, for protocols that previously used a single channel?
Oh, very, very good question. Yeah, so kind of yeah, like unfortunately, I think the best way to do that would be to go in and to update it on and like at the protocol level to specify that you are now using a different pipette. I would say like with our kind of runtime parameters, you can parameterize the pipettes that you are using as you move forward so that you have the ability to kind of like very readily switch between those two configurations and to create much more dynamic scripts. However, kind of the upfront lift would be to still switch those over. Again, I would definitely recommend parameterizing those and going with that pathway.
Easy question for you next. When is the 8.0 software release coming out?
Tomorrow. Put it on your calendars, everybody. Wake up with a smile on your face. It's going to be a good day.
That's true. For the CSV feature, are there any limitations, such as could a header of a column have spaces and dashes, or is it only with underscores?
Um, Spaces do cause issues, as they will with kind of any coding platform, just because then you have to recreate those spaces kind of everywhere. So kind of as always, our recommendation would be to avoid spaces. They will cause undue confusion as you move forward. So best practice is absolutely to use, yeah, underscores, or kind of just keep the headers simple as well, so that you can have kind of as reproducible work as possible.
Okay, and a couple of questions on liquid detection here. First of all, can the Flex detect pipetting a liquid? And if so, what sort of error message do you get if there is a liquid that isn't present?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have kind of a new feature that is being released with this as well, which is kind of the first phase of our liquid level detection. So the Flex, all pipettes have a pressure sensor within them. So they do have the ability to detect kind of all kinds of liquid, kind of a wider range than capacitive sensors typically yield to. And in this 8.0 release, the very first kind of feature set is going to be released that's using liquid level detection. This is kind of gated around just presence or absence of liquid. And so what this is going to do is it's going to do a probing move with a new tip. So one that has not kind of experienced liquid previously, as that will throw off its ability to kind of appropriately understand if liquid has been kind of found, essentially, or run into. And at that point, when it's moving down in the well, if it does not find any liquid, an error message will pop up, and kind of alert the user that no liquid has been found. One quick caveat on that is that there is kind of a bound here. So kind of depending on the labware and its definitions, as well as how well calibrated the instrument is, we have kind of allowed some tolerance affordances. So there is kind of an offset from the bottom, at which point we will say that no liquid was found. So very low volumes can be difficult to detect in tips based on how the meniscus is going to sit, as well as kind of the bottom geometry of it. And then just as a quick plug for the kind of future leaning, in future releases, we will kind of debut the ability to do pipetting relative to the liquid height that we found. So you can specify to find the liquid height and then pipette, say, 2 millimeters below it, as is kind of industry standard. And then in kind of a feature to follow that as well on our roadmap, we'll have the ability to track in Z as well. So to continually move down depending on the volume of liquid and the geometry of the labware. So again, kind of the first feature set, but it plays very nicely with the error recovery kind of options, and it's just further utility of the Flex in your workflow.
And follow up on liquid level detection, is it necessary to upgrade either the robot or the pipettes to get this liquid level detection?
Yeah, absolutely not. So all Flex pipettes are already equipped with pressure sensors, and this is essentially kind of us turning on the feature set to utilize them.
Well, that's great. I think that's all of the questions that have been asked. If there are any that I missed, I apologize. We'll comb through them afterwards and reply to you via email. Quick reminder that there will be a recording of this presentation, and we'll be sending that out and also posting it on our website if you want to refer back to it or share it with anybody else. But that is it for today. Thank you all very much for attending, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, we'll see everybody soon. Again, wake up tomorrow, smile on your face. Thanks, everybody.